Hey, what's up everyone, TJ here. So over the summer I picked up a new pair of boots. They're the Ride Fuse. I got about 30 days on them so far, and in this video I just kind of want to share my thoughts and let you know how they've been holding up so far. Alright guys, so the big draw for me to the Ride Fuse was the versatility. This is a solid boot whether I'm out riding in the park, whether I'm out hiking a mountain trying to find some powder, doing some split boarding, or even just out there doing some carving around the resort. I think this is a good do-it-all boot with a nice mid-flex. And on top of that, it's also got a ton of great tech built into it. First off, this is a standard lace boot, which is my personal preference. I think that it just allows you to get a more customizable fit with the boot. If you want to have certain areas looser or certain areas tighter, it allows you to do that. And it also has this boa on the side of the boot, so that's what Ride calls their tongue-tied system. And basically, as you crank down the boa, it pulls the tongue towards your shin, so that can help further customize the fit of the boot and give you a bit more of a responsive feel if you're looking for something I've been happy with so far and something that I've used every day on this boot. You're also going to find a fully customizable Intuition liner on the Ride Fuse, and more than that, it's actually a full wrap liner. So it's just one piece that wraps all the way around the front of your shin, which I think is making the boot a bit more comfortable. I don't have any pressure points around the back or the front of my boot. It also makes it really quick to take the boot off and on. And with the Intuition liner, you can either just ride the boot for a few days to let it pack out and conform to your foot. That's the way I chose to break the boot in, but you can also do a heat mold to help speed up that process and to get this boot as comfortable as possible, as quickly as possible. One of the coolest things you'll find in the Fuse is actually a Michelin Sole. So this boot uses the same rubber compound that you'll find on Michelin snow tires. I've done a lot of hikes on this boot and it's just offered me a lot of grip, helping me get to that high alpine terrain without having to worry about slipping around, and help me get to that powder. I've used it climbing volcanoes. I've climbed Mount Hood, as well as a pretty sick climb, Mount Lonquimay in Chile, and really happy so far with the hiking experience in the Ride Fuse. Another big draw for me with this boot is all the urethane you'll find in it. So the tongue and the spine of this boot are both made out of urethane, which is giving me a lot of support and some good rebound and energy for carving around the resort. I can actually lean into the boot and it offers some good support for me, but it still offers some good flex for tweaking out grabs, whether you're hitting jumps or trying to poke out rails in the park. And on those bigger features, I have hit some pretty large jumps already with this boot. It offers some good support on those landings, so you're not fully compressing your ankles, and I'm hoping that it's going to increase the longevity of the life of the boot. So far, after about 30 days, they've softened up a little bit, but they still feel really good. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic, hoping to get about 60 or 70 days total on these guys, and so far they're holding up really well. Going along with that, it does have a fully articulated cuff, so that's just going to give the boot a bit more of a natural flex and help give you more comfort and more tweakability when you are trying to go for those more technical, tweaked out tricks. Another thing I really like is the fully rubberized toe cap. So I've found so far it's helped make the boot more durable. I'm just throwing the metal edge of the board right on the toe cap on pretty much every chairlift ride, and I'm not seeing any deterioration so far. But even better than that, it really helps snow from getting into this boot. So on those really slushy days, if you're doing some springboarding or some summer boarding, it's gonna help keep your boot a little bit drier, but also in the powder, it's not gonna allow the powder to seep in through any seams that you'll sometimes find on the toe cap. One thing that really put the Fuse over the edge for me is the fact that I was able to downsize all the way to an 8.5. So over the last 2 seasons, I've gone from a 9.5 now to an 8.5 on the Ride Fuse. And for me, I think anything you can do to minimize the footprint of your boot on your snowboard is a good move, particularly for park riding. That smaller footprint, I think, has helped give a more natural feel to the flex of the snowboard, and overall just make the board feel more fun with a more natural flex in the terrain park. It did make the break-in process a little bit more intense the first few days. It was pretty tight, but after about 5 days of riding, these boots felt super comfortable, and they've been great since then. Also in the break-in period, the first few days, they felt a little bit stiffer than I would have liked, maybe just on the stiffer side of medium. After about 6 or 7 days, the flex was just perfectly on point, and they've held up pretty well. Honestly though, now at about day 30, my right boot for my back leg has softened up just a little bit, which is to be expected, but I think it's gonna hold up pretty well. I feel confident I'm gonna get up to that 60 or 70 day mark on these guys. Overall, just a really versatile boot. If you're looking for something like that, definitely check this out. I'll have it linked down in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in a new video soon. See you guys.